Ladies and gentlemen, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself standing on the edge of a serene lake at sunrise. The water is still mirroring the sky, painted in hues of gold and orange. It's quiet, peaceful, and everything feels just right. But then a small pebble is tossed into the water, ripples spread, distorting the reflection, growing bigger and bigger and bigger until the once calm lake becomes a swirl of broken images. Pause for a breath. Now, isn't this a lot like life? We have these moments of clarity, these moments of stillness and beauty, and then something small happens, a thought, a worry, a what if before we know it, our minds spiral out of control and the peace we held just moments ago is consumed by the chaos we created. I get it, I truly do. You see, I've faced my fair share of challenges, moments where the doubts in my mind were louder than any encouragement I could hear. Growing up without arms and legs, I used to think, why me? That question would echo in my head over and over again. What will people think of me? Will I ever have a future? Will I ever be loved? These thoughts weren't just fleeting whispers, they became thunderous roars, threatening to drown me in my own insecurities. Shift to a tone of hope. But let me tell you something. I stand before you today not as a man who has never struggled, but as someone who has learned to quiet those ripples in the water. Someone who has learned that peace isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about mastering the thoughts that arise because of them. Pause for emphasis. Here's the truth, overthinking is like carrying a backpack filled with stones. They must be thinking this about me adds another stone. And the more stones you carry, the heavier your journey becomes. It's no wonder so many of us feel exhausted. The weight isn't from life itself, it's from what we've chosen to carry in our minds. But here's the good news, you don't have to carry it. You don't. In fact, you can choose to take that backpack off stone by stone. It starts with recognizing that not every thought deserves your attention. Not every worry deserves your energy. Pause briefly. Let me ask you this, have you ever been so consumed by what could go wrong that you missed out on what was actually going right? It's like being so focused on the clouds in the sky that you miss the beauty of the sunrise right in front of you. Overthinking robs us of joy, of presence, of possibility. It creates problems that don't even exist yet, and it keeps us stuck in a prison of what if instead of the freedom of what is. Shift to a more personal tone. I want to share something deeply personal with you. There was a time in my life when I didn't want to go on. When I looked at my body and thought, how can I ever live a normal life? How can I ever make a difference? My overthinking turned my challenges into mountains I thought I could never climb. And yet, here I am standing in front of you today telling you that those thoughts were lies I had to unlearn. How did I do it? I began to ask myself a different set of questions. Instead of why me, I started asking, what can I do with what I've been given? Instead of what will people think of me, I began to ask, how can I make them see past my challenges to my heart? And instead of what if I fail, I learned to say, what if I soar? Bold intensity. Overthinkers suffer because they give too much power to the wrong questions. They let doubts dictate their actions. But let me tell you something, your thoughts are not your master. You have the power to choose what you believe. And when you start choosing thoughts that empower you instead of paralyze you, everything changes. Pause, softer tone. I know it's not easy. I know there are days when it feels impossible to silence the noise in your head, but just because it's not easy doesn't mean it's not worth it. And you don't have to do it alone. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Fill your mind with words that inspire you. Feed your soul with hope, faith, and love. Uplifting tone. I'm not here to tell you that you'll never have doubts again. I still have them from time to time. But what I've learned is these doubts are like clouds. They come and go. But they don't change the fact that the sun is still shining above them. The sun, your strength, your potential, your purpose, it's always there. And when you remember that, when you hold on to that, the clouds lose their power. So my friends, I want to leave you with this: life is too short to live in the prison of overthinking. The world needs your light, your gifts, your story. Don't let fear, doubt, or worry hold you back from living the life you were created for. You are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you believe. And you are more loved than you will ever know. Closing with power. The next time your mind starts to spiral, I want you to remember this moment. Remember that the ripples in the water are temporary, that the weight in your backpack can be lifted, that the clouds will pass. And most importantly, remember that you have the power to create calm in the chaos, to turn overthinking into overcoming, to turn doubt into destiny.